Okay, so I'm going to continue discussing some of the structures of the digestive system, and this particular model is actually taken away from a different torso than we have in our lab. This one does not have the greater omentum on this half of the model, so it does display the major regions of our small intestine much better, and also you can see the colic flexures just a little bit better as well. We're going to start with the small intestine, which we come down from the stomach here and insert into the duodenum. So we start duodenum. To discuss this, I need to pull this structure away, and then I need to pull the rest of our small intestine away to look at the major portion of what we can see of duodenum. And in duodenum, you will see a close association to the pancreas, with the islets of the pancreatic ducts coming in to insert its secretions into the duodenum, and we move down through duodenum through this region here. Duodenum, the upper third portion, the upper part of the small intestine. When we put this back on, we can a little bit more discuss the upper part, ranging from here coming on to just about here on these models, this upper part here, and this is the jejunum. So from here over jejunum, and it passes over here. The rest of this is ileum, as it would continue from about here. This model doesn't do the greatest job of depicting the determination of where it is. If you have 1, 2, and 3 parts, the upper third is the duodenum, the middle third is jejunum, the lower third is ileum, and as we add this structure back, we take this out, we can have generally in total our large intestine or colon, and we will discuss the colon in detail in another video to come. But this one gives us an opportunity to discuss it one more time, and then we can see it in a slightly different view. You can see the mesentery and mesenteric arteries and veins associated here. We can see here, the reason I want to discuss it, because this is where the ileum ends. Ileum enters into this pouch at the bottom part of the ascending colon called the cecum. Here you will see ileocecal valve, which is a sphincter. This controls the backflow of fecal matter back into this part. So actually, ileocecal valve. This is going to the vermiform appendix. Ileocecal valve controlled by a sphincter that will keep the backflow of material going back into the ileum. And then we run up to the ascending colon. We hit the hepatic flexure around to the transverse colon, to the splenic flexure, to the descending colon, up to the sigmoid colon, and then it will twist and wrap around and go to the rectum. And this one does do an excellent job in depicting those structures. We want to look also at one of our plaques, and I'll put that up. I'm going to pause for a moment. Now, I have placed the plaque, in which you will also use to look at the large intestine in detail. And what we want to do is remove the transverse colon, so we can see coming down the duodenum. Then you will see slightly color-coded here the jejunum and the ileum continuing down through here. So we have A depicting that portion of jejunum, B depicting partly the ileum, duodenum coming down here. And this generally will continue on, as this, as you know, will come in to go to the ileocecal valve, to the cecum, up and around, and trace it out the rectum through the anus. So this gives us a good look at those particular structures, and you will be responsible for these structures, all of these. Knowing the general region only will be enough. We will not split hairs in determining this is the bin in which this becomes this or becomes this. It becomes very different. It is more represented by what third of the intestine and the distance. So the upper, so many, such a distance, which you will discuss in great detail. So this concludes my video podcast looking at both primarily the small intestine, but looking at also a little bit of the large intestine in greater detail.